Understanding and Managing Echolalia, the Power of Repeated Sounds. Welcome to today's video, where we'll explore one of the most fascinating and unique ways of communicating, echolalia. If you've heard someone repeat words or sounds, often word for word, within moments of hearing them, or even much later, you've encountered echolalia. While it's often misunderstood and sometimes seen as problematic, echolalia serves important functions for the people who use it. In this video, we'll uncover what echolalia really is, why it happens, and how to both understand and manage it in a compassionate, effective way. Whether you're a parent, educator, therapist, or simply curious to learn more, we'll provide you with practical strategies and insights to navigate this communication style with an open mind and heart. Let's start by defining echolalia. At its core, echolalia refers to the repetition of sounds, words, or phrases that someone has heard. This can happen immediately after the words are spoken or even hours, days, or months later. Echolalia is most commonly associated with individuals on the autism spectrum, but is also observed in those with language delays, certain neurological conditions, and even as part of normal development in young children. Importantly, echolalia isn't random, it serves a purpose. The key is to understand what that purpose is for each individual. Echolalia manifests in two primary ways: immediate echolalia and delayed echolalia. Immediate echolalia occurs when a person repeats something almost right after hearing it. For example, if someone says, "Do you want a snack?" the person might repeat, "Do you want a snack?" right away. In contrast, delayed echolalia involves repetition that happens later, sometimes hours, days, or even weeks after the words were first spoken. You might notice this when an individual recalls a phrase they heard on TV or in a previous conversation and repeats it in a different context. Now that we know what echolalia is, let's look deeper into why it happens and what it means for communication. Echolalia may appear puzzling at first, but it serves several key roles in a person's development, emotional regulation, and interaction with the world. Here are some of its primary purposes. Language learning. For many individuals, echolalia is a way to practice language. Much like how babies instinctively babble as part of their language acquisition, repeating phrases helps individuals with echolalia learn sentence structures, vocabulary, and the rhythm of speech. It's a part of their process of figuring out how to communicate effectively. Communication tool. Echolalia can help individuals with limited language skills participate in conversations. For example, if someone echoes a question like, "Are you hungry?" it might mean, "Yes, I'm hungry," or "I'm processing the question." While it may not always be functional communication, it nonetheless reflects an attempt to engage and express. Emotional regulation. Repeated words or phrases can provide comfort in overwhelming or stressful situations. For individuals who struggle to process emotions verbally, echolalia may become a way to self-soothe or create predictability in moments of unpredictability. Cognitive processing. Repetition can help individuals process information or stimuli. For example, repeating a phrase can serve as confirmation of understanding or as a way to file information in their mind. Expression of feelings. Sometimes borrowed phrases or lines from movies, TV shows, or conversations play an unexpected role. They express emotions. For instance, a child repeating a line like, "That was amazing," might be trying to show joy or excitement by echoing a memorable phrase that matches their feelings. By understanding these potential purposes, we can start to appreciate echolalia rather than see it as purely repetitive or non-functional behavior. It's important to approach echolalia not as an obstacle but as a stepping stone for development. Unfortunately, echolalia is sometimes viewed negatively by those unfamiliar with its underlying functions. It's easy to label repeated sounds as odd or meaningless when we don't understand the deeper story they tell. In reality, echolalia reflects a person's unique way of making sense of the world, practicing communication, or regulating their emotions. Instead of being frustrated or dismissive, consider approaching echolalia with curiosity. Ask, what does this repetition mean for this individual? What needs or feelings might they be expressing? How might echolalia be helping them adapt in a challenging environment? By reframing our view, we can see echolalia not as a barrier but as a bridge, a gateway for better communication and understanding. How we respond to echolalia matters greatly. When someone echoes a phrase, it's an opportunity to connect, expand, and support their communication skills. Here are some principles for responding effectively. Understand the context. Pay attention to patterns in when and why echolalia occurs. Is the person using it to express an unmet need, to self-soothe, to confirm understanding? Observing the context provides valuable clues. Acknowledge the communication attempt. Always recognize that the act of repeating words is communication. Validate the effort by responding positively, even if the words don't immediately make sense in the situation. Expand language skills. Instead of discouraging echolalia, build on it. For example, if someone repeats "want water" after hearing it, reply with "yes, you want water, here you go." This models appropriate language while reinforcing their effort to engage. Encourage functional communication. Use echolalia as a starting point to guide the individual toward expressing their needs and thoughts more directly. You might introduce visual aids or prompts to help them articulate what they mean more effectively. By responding with patience and understanding, we can turn echolalic speech into a foundation for more meaningful and functional communication. As a parent or caregiver, you're often the person who spends the most time with someone who uses echolalia. You play a vital role in shaping how they grow and develop their communication skills. Here are some practical strategies. Model more functional language. When the individual echoes words or phrases, repeat them back but in a more complete or functional way. For example, if they say ice cream, you might respond, "Oh, you want ice cream? Let's get some." Use visual tools. Pair spoken words with visuals, such as pictures or objects, to reinforce meaning and encourage comprehension. Create opportunities for expression. Encourage choices and self-expression through structured activities, like picking between two snacks or deciding on a favorite activity. Celebrate progress. Even small steps in communication are worth celebrating. Acknowledge and praise efforts to help build confidence. By approaching echolalia with an emphasis on connection and growth, you're fostering an environment where communication can flourish. For educators and therapists, echolalia isn't just a challenge. It's an opportunity to teach, guide, and inspire. Developing language and communication skills often requires finding creative ways to incorporate echolalia into lesson plans or therapy sessions. Scaffold language learning. Use the individual's echolalia as a building block. For instance, if a student echoes a question, model the proper response and encourage them to try it. Reinforce purposeful communication. Help the individual understand the function of certain phrases. For example, teach that repeating "can I play" can lead to a positive outcome, like getting time with a favorite toy. Create language-rich environments. Expose individuals to diverse vocabulary, sentences, and contexts. Repeated exposure provides plenty of material for echolalic phrases to mimic. Collaborate with families. Work closely with parents and caregivers to extend strategies used in class or therapy to the home environment. By introducing supportive, structured techniques, you help individuals gain practical communication skills that empower them in all areas of life. Understanding echolalia becomes so much clearer when we look at real-life examples. Consider a young boy who constantly repeated lines from his favorite cartoon. His parents were initially confused by his behavior, but over time they realized that these lines helped him express feelings he couldn't put into his own words. When he was upset, he'd borrow lines like, "Oh no, what do we do?" as a way of signaling he needed help. Through patient guidance, his family encouraged him to use his own words alongside these scripted phrases. Over weeks and months, they saw him transition from pure echolalia to more meaningful communication. What once seemed like random repetition became an invaluable first step toward connection. At the heart of this journey is a call for acceptance and empathy. Echolalia is not something to be fixed. It's an important window into how someone processes the world. Rather than trying to eliminate echolalia, our focus should be on supporting growth, self-expression, and independence. Empathy means listening to the patterns, sounds, and words someone shares, all of which are attempts to connect, to feel understood, and to feel heard. Echolalia is a fascinating and powerful aspect of communication that deserves our curiosity, compassion, and understanding. Whether it's immediate or delayed, whether it expresses a need, an emotion, or a thought, echolalia tells us something about the individual using it. With the right strategies and perspectives, we can transform echolalia into a foundation for meaningful expression and communication skills. For parents, caregivers, educators, and therapists, it's not just about managing echolalia, it's about embracing it as part of a person's unique way of interacting with the world. Let's celebrate the power of repeated sounds and honor their role in bridging the gap between silence and expression. If you've enjoyed this discussion on echolalia, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos on communication, understanding, and connection. Thank you for watching.